On the last episode, we started our climb in OCE with the final game in the video ending in a 4v5. After this match, the ADC, which was on our team, is very upset about the fashion in which we won that match. He continues to carry his anger after the game, and I'm kind of hoping that he's in the enemy lobby. Honestly, there's just no reason to be this upset. The game was never in danger. It didn't even go for that long. I don't know, man. He unfortunately isn't in this next match, but he does end up showing up a couple games later. But first, we have the quickest game I've ever played, I think. And it starts off with us invading. We're playing double jungle. I managed to catch this Jinx out blind with my Q, and we lock up the first blood. Now the priority shifts to getting vision of where the enemy jungler is starting. I like to put a ward either on the Raptors or the red. In this case, we put it on the Raptors, and then I head between our red and blue, waiting to figure out where the enemy jungler is starting. There is a chance she invades our red side, so I want to be close to help just in case, but we do end up spotting her on the ward we place, and now the fun begins. Presumably after I killed her on the red buff, she just straight up quit the game. So the whole team didn't have to do anything and they get some free ELO. And with that game, we got to Diamond 2. The next game, I get put into top lane and we're versing a Malphite. It was a boring match. I'm not going to show it to you. We doubled him in farm and they surrendered again. That gets us 30 LP, so we're climbing quickly. And now onto game number 3, where I wait till the last second to swap to Smite. Of course, that's just what you do. While we're loading into the next game, let's have a talk about your future. If you know what this game is, odds are you might be looking for a new career. Thanks to our partners Boot.dev, it's super easy to get started, and if you use code Tilterella, you get 25% off. Boot.dev's mission is to teach you programming. They focus on back-end development and make sure that you're prepared to get a job in the industry. The standard annual income for someone in this field is over 100K per year US, all from the comfort of your home. The creators of this course are themselves gamers, so they've taken a unique approach that is tailored to keep you having fun while still upgrading your skills. You'll be learning Python and Go in a self-paced manner, making it feel like you're playing a role-playing game. There's global leaderboards if you want to be competitive, and a wide range of detailed courses that is very hands-on because they believe that is the best way for you to succeed. Learn back-end development today with Boot.dev. Use my code Tilterella for 25% off your first purchase, whether that's a month or a year, it's up to you. Where I wait till the last second to swap to Smite. This has upset my Varus, who wish he had teleport. I make a joke which triggers him. I've said that he's got to pay attention when obviously I'm swapping at the last second, so just a joke, maybe to the wrong crowd, but this would not be a Tilterella video if we were not pissing off both the enemy and our team, which we have definitely accomplished this game. The whole team is quite angry. The invade continues though. So this is a small recap. Diana didn't use Smite and then gets killed by Anivia. The Lee Sin started on W and attempts to contest us on the red. We managed to steal it and then kill him. While all of this is happening, the Lulu has dished the bot lane to come and defend this red side. It forced me out, so I go to our blue side, and while I'm farming that, I can see Diana is trying to contest Lee Sin's blue, but doesn't succeed. So I make the call to leave up her blue buff, and I tell her this because I don't want her to die or go back to base and have nothing to do. I tell her, come, this blue is up. And while she's going there, I'm on the enemy red side now, taking the Raptors and the Krugs. Overall, very messy, but our team profited without a doubt. It's now 6 minutes and the Voidlings are spawning. I see the Lee Sin is pathing towards it, and so does Diana. The enemy's movements become a lot more predictable once you're in charge of their camps because they have nowhere to go. There's no gold and there's nothing to do, so they always go for the next big thing spawning, which obviously plays right into what we want because we meet him there, kill him, and secure 3 of the Voidlings and keep taking his camps on timer. And that's what you're watching me do right now, except I get myself into a tricky situation because of this Anivia. Sadly, it's very difficult for Sion to get away, and we end up dying, giving the kill. At least the Lee Sin gets it, not the Anivia, so it's not the end of the world. But this fight is very extended. It doesn't just end here, it keeps going. We end up respawning and making it all the way back in time to rejoin this team fight. We end up getting the last laugh on Anivia as we clean up a kill, and Jace snipes 1-2 onto the Lulu, so things are looking quite good. Our gold is well distributed amongst our team members, but on the flip side, Anivia has picked up 3 kills now, which is very scary. Fortunately, Anivia doesn't pick up any more kills here. They manage to walk away. This is good. We're in a decent spot. I know the kill line says it's an even game, but we're technically quite far ahead in experience at this point. As you can see here, I have a whole level on this Lee Sin, and we continue to steal camps from him. So overall, I'm putting our team ahead. Another big plus for our team is that the enemy has a Kayle, and Kayle is very easy to shut down, especially if you know how to time your Q with the new teleport, which at this point in time, I had no clue how it worked. Either way, we do still clean up that kill onto Kayle, and then we get the remaining 3 Voidlings, so we have all 6 of them, which is going to pay off big in the late game. I then run straight back to the top lane because Kayle's ultimate is still down. I was trying my best to pass gold off to this Jace because that was going to be one of our biggest win conditions. He almost missed it, but ends up collecting the kill. As I recalled, I was looking at the Varus' score and could tell that he was having a hard time. So I figured that it might be a bit funny to throw some fuel on the fire. Funny for me anyway. And you guys have to understand that when we play this strategy, I expect almost nothing from my ADC. If they're not AFK, I am giving them the honor. We find ourselves once again in a precarious situation. I pull the enemy into the pit, expecting this Jace to jump the wall here and kill Lee Sin. I do believe that is the correct play. It doesn't end up happening, and then a full team fight breaks out after. Don't forget, at this point, I have given Jace multiple kills in the top lane. He is very strong. He could have easily jumped that wall and eliminated the Lee Sin, who is behind. Anyway, doesn't really matter because the team, they instantly forfeit the second it is 15. Even the enemy is confused as for why they surrendered. The game was clearly not over. Even looking at the damage graph, you could see we had a significant edge this game. But their emotions took control, and we go into the next game where our ADC is off roll. She is a support main and she's asking to take my role, so I suggest that she plays Seraphine because Seraphine and Sion is an amazing combo. And what do you know? We're up against the top laner, that Jace. He is playing the Zeri this game. There's absolutely nothing better than some sweet, sweet revenge. Historically speaking, this is a farm lane through and through. Both Zeri and Seraphine don't necessarily have a lot of damage and they both want to just farm. I can change that by playing super aggressive in the early levels. We sacrifice our life and end up getting summoner spells, which opens up the opportunity for us to make a play. I come back to the bot lane and look at where I'm positioning. I'm positioning between the enemy and the minions. I know that the Zeri really wants that cannon minion and I'm not going to let him get it, not without a fight at the very minimum. One kill goes onto the Sion and the other on Seraphine. This all but secures the lane in our favor. It's going to be very difficult for the enemy team to get any footing. Once Seraphine gets the lead with a tank, we can start to really punish the enemy. It also really does help us that this Seraphine knows exactly what she's doing. Her ultimates are perfectly timed, the range is great as well, and she's being significantly more aggressive than I would normally give a Seraphine credit for. Up until this point, everything was going in our favor. Jarvan's now coming in for a gank, and we know this. We click away to run, but for some reason, while I'm pinging the summoner spells on Lulu, my champion passed back towards the enemy, and this results in us both dying. Seraphine came back to the lane to help me, but it wasn't enough. So we both die. It's my fault, or maybe it's Riot's fault. I don't know. Either way, it didn't impact the lane at all. Zeri and the Lulu went to the mid lane and Lux came to the bot. I'm assuming they were trying to stop the bleeding because Lux has a safer time in this 2v1. It didn't save her though. We managed to get a pick onto the Lux as well. Fast forwarding to 21 minutes, Atakan has now spawned and a fight breaks out around it. The enemy team was trying to get the tower and set up, but we counter it, and now this is a major moment in this game. Not only is the bot lane winning, but our team ends up winning now because we clear them and end up getting the Atakan for free. A couple minutes later, our team is so far ahead that this Infernal Drake is actually our soul point. So the enemy team, they have no choice but to commit to this fight because the Infernal Soul is a very powerful tool. After killing most of the enemy team, we're pushing down the mid lane, but I realized very quickly that our best choice is going to be to split apart, go for the Baron and the Soul at the same time. We end up securing that Soul Drake and the Baron, and now we're looking to do our final push into the enemy's base. 30 more LP and on to game number 5 we go. We're invading the enemy's blue side. I'm trying to get vision down as per usual, but boy do I miss the days of being in Korea where I could just ping where I want the wards without typing and it just gets placed, you know? Look how hard I'm trying to get my team to place any wards for me, just any. It is just not a thing. And it's safe to say this game, Jax did not place a ward. This is such a prime example of why it's so important to just drop the ward and give me some vision. Now I'm in a position where I just have to guess. It's a big risk, but I end up taking it anyway because I don't have a choice. Even without the ward, we kill the enemy jungler, take his blue buff, lower the health of the top laner, and also waste the time of the enemy support. To top it all off, because it was our passive that killed the blue, we end up getting to keep it. Rather than stopping and taking my jungler's camps, I decide to skip through and try and contest the Kayn on his red side, but for some reason he went past me and tries to steal Talia's blue. So I clear up this red and rush to try and flank the enemy. We unfortunately don't get this kill on Orianna, but everyone else dies, and most importantly, Kayn does not get the blue buff, and he is stopped in his tracks. Now I'm going to show you a highlight reel of all the camps I stole from Kayn this game. At this point, it is fair to say that I took a lot of gold away from the enemy jungler. Is it not? I think it is. Anyway, so after that, I decided to attempt to take this blue buff because my Talia is fighting topside, and I'm almost certain I just saw her take a blue from the enemy Kayn. I'm not 100% sure, but I double check. Yes, it is true. She has a blue, and she has somewhere to go after this. She's obviously going to path to the red buff, so I didn't see the big deal, but turns out it was a very big deal because the Talia decides to sell out her AP items and purchase AD instead. And for the rest of the game, she refused to help us win. We actually continued to play as 4v5. Our lead was so massive that we could just hold on. It went for another 17 minutes. And eventually, yeah, like the 4v5, it took over. As you can see, the gold graph just slowly swung in their favor at the end. We end up getting her banned, so we get back some of the LP. On to game number 6. This one starts off kind of rough. I invaded the Raptors and didn't manage to take any of it, so he gets level 2, and this means I have to go back to our side of the map. I can't contest him because not only is he level 2, but he still has his smite. So I do a 2-camp clear and then start heading over to the enemy's blue, and while we're doing that, we see Pantheon use his flash to kill our Lucian in the mid. Although that sucks, it's kind of good news because when we bump into him, it means he doesn't have an escape. After heading back to our base, I noticed Pantheon is putting a lot of focus onto our bot lane. I also realized that the enemy ADC is the exact person who added me after the game and started flaming. He is Mr. Rank 1. So I ended up putting a lot of my focus from this point on into shutting him down. This is the issue. Once I know you're a tilter, I'm just going to consistently gank you, right? Why wouldn't I? Odds are you'll get angry and start flaming your team and I'll get the free LP. This exchange goes in our favor because Kha'Zix picks up 2 kills. Our ADC also manages to get back to lane in time to snipe the enemy center. Fast forwarding 2 minutes, I'm now hovering this bot lane. I'm trying to bully the ADC, and the best way to do that is to pick on this center. He seems to be the weak link, the one that's going to make him tilt, so we keep pushing on that button until eventually he does end up cracking. It didn't take long for the all chats to start coming out. He was angry and we were ready to push the knife in. We've skipped a couple of minutes into the future. At this point, it's fairly clear to me that Ezreal is actively trying to murder me. I do believe there's a little bit of a grudge happening, but it doesn't pay off for him. "20 minutes into this game, every single member on our team, minus the Lucian, is very fed. Kha'Zix has over 10 kills, but that doesn't slow the enemy team down. Ezreal is still on a mission to kill me, and I on a mission to kill him. We've skipped to the final team fights of this match, and it begins the same way it started, with us picking off this center and abusing the fact that Kha'Zix is very fed.
Y'all ain't on this level, bitches, Tilterella. Y'all can never beat them like a knock.